It was the 3rd of September. That day I'll always remember. Yes, I will. 'Cause that was the day that my daddy died. I never got a chance to see him. Never heard nothing but bad things about him. Mama, I'm depending on you. Tell me the truth. Mama just hung her head and said, son, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. Oh, Papa was a rolling stone, my son, yeah. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. Hey, Mama, is it true what they say that Papa never worked a day in his life?
And Mama, some bad talk going around town saying that Papa had 3 outside children and another wife. And that ain't right.
Heard some talk about Papa doing some storefront preaching, talking about saving souls and all the time leeching, dealing in that and stealing in the name of the Lord. Mama just hung her head and said, Papa was a rolling stone, my son. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left was alone. Hey, Papa was a rolling stone. That done it. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left was alone.
Hey mama, I heard Papa call himself a jack of all trades. Tell me, is that what's in Papa doing early grave? Folk they borrow steel to pay his bills.
Hey, Mama, folks say Papa never was much on thinking. Spent most of his time chasing women and drinking.
Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth.
Mama looked up with a tear in her eye and said, son,
Well, 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 well. Hey, yeah. All he left us was alone, alone, alone,
I'm gonna do one joint tonight. Well, let's get into it. Welcome to the House of Dinner Round. Just messing around. And we back on a Tuesday. You know, this is the most random show on YouTube. I never know where it's going. I have stuff, no flow, no theme. We'll be, of course, breaking down the latest One Piece chapter. Of course, maybe it's time to have my One Piece retirement speech. I'm about done with the series. I am about done with the series, especially after this latest chapter, after this latest arc. But we'll kind of get into that a little bit later in the show. Of course, I want to break down some of the news of the day, some of the stuff off the beaten path. It won't be too heavy tonight. I don't think most of the clips I got ain't that heavy. Matter of fact, I want to start it off with something a little. Do I want to go light? Do I want to go? And I just wanted to just jump into it. We'll see. We'll see. Give shouts out to those who made it. So, knowing those of you that are hanging out in the clouds, like, comment, whatever they say on the YouTube. Listen, this channel's all over the place, but it's fine though. It's fine. It's kind of let it flow. This is waterbender style. Let's let it flow. Chakra. Okay. DMO, how you doing? I don't see anybody else, so I guess it's just me and the two people in the clouds. Okay. I do have a little message to kind of close out tonight's show as we move forward through the week. Let's say this. Happy Veterans Day to the vets that are listening, or vets in your family. Happy Veterans Day to them. I might save some of that commentary for the other show. I think, I'm just rambling here, y'all. Just don't mind me. I have stuff I want to kind of get into, but where do I start? Give me just a second. I'm trying to figure out what direction I really wanted to kind of take tonight's show. I want to start with this. Let's kind of start light. This is a clip that's been kind of floating around. Give me a second. It's not like whatever. It's going to kind of lead into some other stuff later. I don't know. Hopefully it does. Excuse me. All right. Come back here. Put me, small. I'll play this a couple times. I'm starting to see clips like this pop up in my algorithm a whole lot. There's a whole lot of misappropriating the culture, and this bastardizing the culture, and this is kind of deeper than that. But I'm gonna play this a couple times, and I'm gonna kind of give my thoughts on this kind of like pattern of behavior I'm starting to see kind of spring up online. Let's go.
get it. We're their anime. I get it. I finally get it. We're their anime. Oh man, that is toxic as fuck. I get it. We're their anime. I get it. I finally get it. We're their anime. Oh man, that is toxic as fuck.
All right, let me come back over here. Put me back on the screen. Of course, Luffy Gear 5 in the back. Yes. All right. You're starting to see a lot of these videos kind of popping up, and it's not nothing new, but I just find it very interesting. It's interesting that everybody wants to be black till it's time to be black. You want the benefits and the perks and the swag and the style and the flavor of black. And let's keep black American culture at that. You want that, but you don't want what comes with it. I just find it very. Let me go ahead and take this thing and get done with it. Find it very interesting. Find it very interesting that this is on a lot of different levels. This is how people in different parts of the world see Black American culture is the gang bang gang, either the quote unquote. They like to emulate the hood aspect, and I've never understood that this over glorification of the hood. I've never, for the life of me, I've never understood that. I've never. I mean, it's not something to glorify or nothing like that. Maybe I'm being a little too preachy, maybe being a little bit too serious, but I just, it's it rubs me the wrong way, but at the same time, I mean, this is part of our culture as a whole. You can't take the bad away from the good. It is what it is. This is who we are. This a part of who we are. And I think that's the biggest misconception from people who live in other countries. And when they look at Black American culture, this is what they see, and this is what they want to emulate. The fake tough guy, street thug, stuff you heard about in songs and saw in music videos, or what you see it online. This is what you want to emulate. To each his own. To each his own. Is like you can be mad, but how mad can you really be? Because it's it looks just as goofy with them doing it as us doing it. Okay, hold on, let me check something real quick. Something ain't right here. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Give me refilling my water. I'm sitting here sipping and working on some other stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of start off the show with that. It's gonna lead into some other stuff, but I mean, hell, it's look like it's just a solo production tonight. It is what it is. I'm still get through the material. Fuck it. I got something else I want to kind of get into. Give me just a second. Say that for later. Like I said, the show is random. I kind of put it together, and I'll say that definitely for later. Save that for later. I want to kind of get into this clip. Clip kind of floating around. In regards to suspended CEO, suspended CEO for the Grammys. Has a clip kind of making the rounds and it calls into questions the validity of people getting awards in the past and how that kind of system has worked out. It's very interesting clip, and I want to kind of break it down. Let me play it real quick. Okay, StreamYard, work with it, brother. Okay, okay, all right. Exit out. What's good, defrauding? Oh, no, man. This, kind of spitballing here. It is what it is, man. It's one of those shows. But check this clip out. This is why, like I said, suspended Grammy CEO claims the awards are rigged. And I want you to kind of hear this. And then she's saying the quiet part out loud, and she's saying what we already knew. And I got questions in regards to her role in this. Check this out.
Your truth. You have to tell your truth.
Deborah Dugan says last week the Recording Academy offered her millions of dollars if she would keep her silence. She refused.
Is the awards process corrupt? It's rigged.
12,000 Academy members vote to determine the top 20 nominees for a Grammy Award. But Dugan, alongside her attorney, says committees who pick the final nominees can be influenced.
You're saying that in some cases, the nominating process has the involvement of people who have an interest in the nominations, artists who might be nominated are in the room. Absolutely.
And not just the artists, it's the people who have business affiliations with the artists as well.
Could represent the artists.
Are in the room.
Yes.
What about the allegation that artists have made that it is predominantly white, that the decisions are being made by males? Is that true?
It is true. It's predominantly white males that call the shots.
She says Sunday night, artists up for Song of the Year took spots from Ariana Grande and Ed Sheeran.
When you move somebody up, somebody comes out. And I was in the room, and I did see that happen.
The Academy said today.
What made you start calling Tyler Perry out?
He had an opportunity to.
Okay, that's enough of that. Hold on, was it any more? Intoxicating her ass. All right. Come back over here. All right, take that down. I'm done with that clip. Yeah, we run it through it tonight. Let's get the material out and go on about our day. But anyway, I got several questions in regards to this. One, why now you come out? It's kind of common knowledge that the Grammys is not a true reflection of like who has the best song, best album of the year. We know it's a lot of politics involved with the music industry, so it is not shocking or it's not surprising that she's kind of revealing this kind of information with her, being suspended, trying to portray herself as a whistleblower. I was like, listen, you don't even have to be in the room to know that some of these nominations and some of these winners have been completely bullshit based on who ends up winning, who's even nominated in some of these categories, and you can especially see it, in the hip hop category. Let's keep it a buck. Macklemore winning album of the year in hip hop was like the super red flag for me back in the day when Macklemore ended up winning the Grammy for that best album of the year. Payola is the name of the game in the music industry. You want your artist to have that Grammy attached to it, Grammy nominated, Grammy award. Well, hey, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. It's gonna be one of them, one of them kind of nights. But welcome to the show. I did not do the vertical like I did yesterday. I should have did it for this one. I might do it. You know what? I might. We might do some creative stuff a little bit later in the show because I got some material, but I'm not going to drag it out all night long. I got some shit, but I've been thinking about having a conversation with another fellow creator whose opinion I value highly. Just I hate it. I want to kind of, I might want to do that. Next, that might be what I do Sunday. I might do a show over here on Sunday with addition to doing a show on Tuesday. I want to kind of test some stuff out. Might want to do a test live where I'm just kind of like playing around with different streaming apparatuses and not being limited to YouTube. Twitch is looking good. I've also kind of looked at Rumble. So yeah, I might do that. I might do it tonight. But I'll do it Sunday. I'll do a test, like it'll just be a test live. No real material stuff. It's just kind of like, me kind of walking through getting into this stuff, kind of setting it up. And it's part of the natural progression of life. But anyway, back to this Grammy situation. Yeah, I don't know how much of her story I'm buying. The fact that you want to tell me it's predominantly white men that are picking the Grammys. You want to tell me that the artists, and the labels and people who are associated with them are in the room influencing that. I mean, I think any major award, any major award, whether it be music, whether it be movies, it's other interested parties involved in it. Everybody wants to have that, that recognition attached to it, because there's nothing says quote unquote respect in the media, and especially in the music industry, when you say I'm Grammy Award winning, I'm Grammy Award nominated, or even with acting, or won an Oscar. Like, you can't, that's something that you have on your record. Like, say what you want to say about Monique, the comedian, if you actually like, who the fuck is Monique? But yeah, say what you want to say about Monique, but her winning an Oscar, best supporting actress in the film. Like, listen, you can't take that away. And it's supposed to elevate your career, means more money, what it means more money for you as the quote unquote artist, or the winner, or even being nominated. Yes, it means more money for you, but it also means, hey, more sponsorship deals are coming your way. Any sponsorship deals that you do have, it just elevates it to another level. You want to have a Grammy nominated, Grammy Award winning on your resume, because hey, it looks good when it's time to do selection for Super Bowl halftime show, or who's going to be performing at like a FIFA, World Cup is coming to America 2026, Grammy nominated, Grammy Award winning. Like, it looks good, it sells good, and it's all a money game anyway. So her coming out and saying that, it's kind of, to me, kind of weak sauce. You kind of bearing the truth of what everybody kind of know what's going on with it anyway. So but anyway, I want to move on. Because I got my material, and of course I'm getting to the latest, for my anime fans, getting to the latest One Piece episode. And well, trigger warning for those that are listening, and I know, beautiful, this might piss you off. I'm not trying to piss you off, just trying to share the news off the beaten path. I guess you can call it that. This stuff that kind of popped up, and I was like, wanted to kind of bring it to our audience, whatever that, and kind of get into it. This is a story. Let me see. Are we good? Get my, come on, StreamYard, work with a brother. All right, there we go. Okay. This is a story. As you kind of see, teacher resigns after telling black students if it wasn't for the Constitution, they would still be her slaves. I'm gonna play the clip. It's about a 3-minute clip. Be patient with it. Like I said, trigger warning. You might get upset. It's not meant to make you upset, but it's something to talk about. Let's go.
We are investigating the resignation of a Winterville teacher after what the school calls a racially insensitive lesson, and caught the attention of a lot of our viewers. Justin Lundy has been following this story and is live outside of Winterville Charter Academy with the latest. Justin.
Yes, I spoke with parents whose children tell them that a teacher here at Winterville Charter Academy used racial slurs inside an 8th grade classroom. And today, those parents are demanding immediate action and answers.
She had them raise their hand during a Constitution lesson and reminded them that if it wasn't for the Constitution, they would still be her slaves, her field slaves.
Kanisha Tillman and McKay Benjamin say their children were in an 8th grade classroom at Winterville Charter Academy, and late last month, that was the lesson on Constitution Day. Tillman says both the teacher and some white classmates then used the N-word.
And then call him a and then the teacher responded by saying when the black student tried to address it and asked her to address it, she said that, well, it's okay because we're all a little bit racist.
School leaders initially sent out a memo to parents of that classroom on September 24th. It said they investigated the incident and the teacher involved resigned. After outrage began to spread on social media that the teacher wasn't fired, Principal Anastasia Ryan sent out the following memo on October 5th to the whole school, reading in part, "As soon as we were made aware of each incident, we immediately took action. The result was a teacher resignation and the children involved being disciplined in accordance with our parent and student handbook. These situations concern us too. Our school culture is built on one of acceptance, love, and respect to serve all children and their families." Benjamin planned to remove her child from the school, but changed her mind this week. And why aren't you taking your kids out of the school?
Instead of us just removing our kids and letting them get away with it and not actually holding them accountable for what's going on, we should stay at the school and fight and get them to address the situation.
Winterville Charter Academy has not revealed the name of the teacher involved, but parents are demanding new policies to prevent situations like this from occurring again.
I would like for them to have training on cultural fluency, on implicit bias, on racism, and I would like the students to have training. Like, it doesn't make sense why we got a school-wide email about TikTok challenges in the soap dispensers, but we didn't get a school-wide email discouraging more racist remarks coming to the school.
A memo from the school stated that the teacher who resigned will actually receive culturally sensitive training. I'm not really sure how that's going to be worked out because I already reached out to the school and they haven't said anything about that. But future and current teachers will also go through that training as well. In Pitt County, Justin Lundy, WITN.
Okay, let me come back over here. I'm sorry, beautiful. Oh, okay. Let's gotta get into it a little bit here. They need some. I got several problems with this. And it's not all on the teacher that I have a problem with. With this story. Here's one of the issues. There's multiple issues for me. Let me see if y'all caught it. What I didn't like was that, the parents, you heard it like towards the end of the video, the parents are talking about, I want them to have cultural sensitive classes and training and that kind of stuff, not only for the teachers, but for the students. Listen, sis, that shit don't mean nothing. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That kind of training, a class that they may just go to for a day, and you're talking about 8 hours of training. This is supposed to this is supposed to get rid of the racism that they have been obviously bred with. It is ingrained in their culture, their being, their upbringing, and you're trying to hopefully reverse the racism in their heart with a cultural sensitive class. Dude, defrauding that part. They've already accepted they don't like us because of race. Listen, I'd be suing the schools, be suing the school district. What am I getting out of them going to a culturally sensitive class? What they're gonna walk out, they're gonna say what they gotta say in that classroom and all of that, and then it's Jesus Christ. I mean, anybody that's done kind of professional training of any sort, other than something that is life-saving, a lot of that shit is one ear and out the other. Oh, we'll pick this up, let's do this training again next year. I mean, October is what, cybersecurity awareness month. Jesus Christ. I mean, but some folks they're not in a professional setting. I don't know if they have those kind of classes for people who are in manual labor positions. I don't know. I don't think they have stuff like that for construction workers or people in, like lawn maintenance and shit like that. But anyway, those of you that are, in the professional setting, understand what I'm talking about. Like, what are we getting out of that? What are we getting out of that? And they felt comfortable. Listen, she knew where the lesson plan was going. She wrote up the lesson plan. She scripted the racism. It wasn't an impromptu thing where we got into a heated argument. You slipped up and said the N-word. Like, no. I had you raise your hands. So this is part of the classroom lesson. Have you raise your hands? And I want to explicitly point out, and it's like almost like a double meaning. It goes a little deeper than that with it. When you think about it, I had the black students raise their hand, which automatically, we're going ahead and doing that with it. Unless we create systematic camp, racists go to a camp and experience racism against them. It's no going home. Listen, defrauding. That would be deemed cruel and unusual punishment by them. But even then, I mean, come on, man, that stuff is taught at an early age. You're talking about before some of these kids can read or write. They know, the culture is like, hate black folks. And I'm not trying to make this is an overly racist show. I mean, but it's not surprising. I just, wish this wasn't the response by the parents. Like, listen, let's get paid. We're in the era of, if you feel a certain kind of way, if something bad happens to you, file a lawsuit. We'll talk about the lawsuit dealing with Akira and that situation a little bit later in the show. That kind of falls into that category for me when you kind of look at the details of that. But requiring them to go to classes, that's the easy way out. That's a cop out. A culturally sensitive class. What are you gonna learn about? We're gonna come out of there. We shall overcome. What are we getting out of that? I wish our people, man. Let's stop with the bullshit. They understand. They understand. they understand exactly what they're doing. It's not, oh, I didn't know. It's why are we going with the dumb shit? It's not a shock. She knew what she was doing. She intentionally had them kids raise their hand, intentionally told them, if it wasn't for the Constitution, you would still be my slaves. I mean, it was done intentional. It's, okay, well, let me give you a taste of what that looks like in real time. 8th graders who may not have experienced what racism looks like in the world. Let me give you a small taste of it. I'm going to single you out in front of the classroom and let you know that, hey, if it wasn't for this piece of paper, and it's a double entendre with that these good old white folks wrote back in the day when you were still considered, less than a whole up a man. If it wasn't for these good white folks, doing these amendments and adding to the Constitution and all that, you still be on somebody's plantation. This is a helpful reminder to you. Oh man, this is what, we move on, because I'm sorry to get pissed off. I'm the one that brought the clip to the. Oh, okay. Let's move on. Because I don't want to make it that kind of a show. I want to keep it light. I need to move the bar. Ain't no moving the Mars. It's beautiful. I mean, I just don't like that. That passive shit like that. Like, I want them to do this. Well, let's kind of lighten the mood up a little bit. I got exclusive footage. Exclusive footage that nobody else has got just yet. It's got some exclusive footage. Had a individual reach out to me, said they took a trip to another universe. And this is their reaction to. Do I want to be paid? Oh, fuck it. This is my show. This is my channel. Yeah, they took a trip to a special universe. I'm not going to say where, but it was a special universe. And it had this kind of a effect on them. I'll play it a couple times. I felt bad for this person. How you doing, Miss Murph? How you doing? How you doing? That's one of the side effects if when you're having too much purple in your system. Yeah, beautiful. This is what happens when you become the content. Oh, Jesus. Come back to reality, folks. Don't spend too much time. Come to reality. Spend way too much time in colorful rooms. I'm just gonna say that. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me kind of get through. Okay, I got a couple more things, and I want to kind of. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and get into. Nah, I'll come back to that one. This is kind of funny. Okay. Yeah, let's get into. I want to get into this one here. Kind of set this up for those of you that don't know, and I was one of those people who didn't know until like a couple days ago. It was a famous TikToker, a person I've never known or heard of, or even seen the videos of. Brene Kennard was accused of having an affair with Timothy Montague, and his ex-wife or wife or ex-wife at this point filed a lawsuit for something I've never heard of before: alienation of affection. She sued her for alienation of. You think you can take the One Piece roster? Oh yeah. Oh, come on, Defrauder. We not beautiful. Look at you champion that shit. Okay, we're gonna get into, for those who didn't know. And I was, like I said, one of those people. A couple days ago, this was actually going on. She actually ends up winning $1.75 million in the lawsuit. In the North Carolina court ruled in her favor. This is a filthy, nasty work, and I do not. Let me be honest with you. Right now, I don't agree with the court's decision. I'll explain it. I'll explain it after playing the video real quick. Let's get into it.
That note about the harassment that Akira received.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, tell me more about the attention that this case has received, and how it's been dealt with, by plaintiff and the members of her family as well.
Well, to be transparent, my client was humiliated when Ms. Kennard flaunted her relationship and her marriage. But my client took her power back.
Yes, she did. Yes.
This is the first time that she's ever spoken about the affair. So not only can you humiliate somebody online, you can also take your power back.
You can. Yes.
Now, if she chooses to speak, then she's able to speak her truth.
That's right.
For a year and a half, she was not able to speak because I advised her not to. But her truth came out.
Yes, it did.
Thank you.
One more for Akira, is that okay?
No, she's not answering the question. Okay. All right. All right, thank y'all so much.
Let me come back over here. Yes, yes, she did. Go get some wipes after the I do not agree with the court's decision. How do you say, Ms. Murphy? That part. This is the part I don't get. You want to your case is, you're humiliated, you're embarrassed, and you want to file an alienation of affection. It was like the bulk of what this case was on. Yeah, I hear you that defraud and ridicule for a year and a half, but dude, you lost your man. It happens on a daily basis. Now, some of these women that are running around championing like you go girl. Now, there you go, Miss Murph. I want y'all to have the same energy when a brother decides to sue his ex-wife for alienation of affection when she moves on with her side piece. I want y'all to have that same energy. The women out there that are championing this, saying you go girl, you stuck it to him, girl, he shouldn't have blah blah blah, oh whatever. Listen, you lost your man. She lost the man but won the money. The fraud, and I beautiful. Look, I want to mute this. This is set in a ugly press. Listen, I don't want nothing to do with North Carolina. Shout out to my people up there. I don't want nothing to do with North Carolina. This is how y'all getting down. This is how y'all get down. Look, she took your man. It happens. It happens on a regular basis. But to, you're so embarrassed, and I can't believe the court went with this alienation of affection because he was blowing her back out and one blowing yours out. You got mad. The fact that she was like, I'm just gonna flaunt my new man, which is what the side chick does when they get promoted to the. Listen, come on, beautiful. Let me grab my cape. let me grab my cape. Let me grab my cape. Pimping ain't dead. Post a game for someone to show us that they said. Let me kind of get into this. Listen. Okay, hold on. You can't hear me right now. Have me checking my volume. Let me say this. This is part of the game. We all like to listen. This is part of the game. This is part of the hustle. It is. What part of the game is this? Baby, you lost. You lost. You lost to the side chick. I would say the same thing if it was a dude. Listen, you lost. The flavor in your Kool-Aid wasn't sweet enough for him, so he decided to go elsewhere. And why are you surprised? She's supposed to keep the man in hiding. She's already spent God knows how much time in hiding as the side chick. Once the side chicks get promoted to the main chick, listen, they want to be on the stage. You understand what I'm saying to you? They don't, they was tired of being in the background. Eventually Luther had to get promoted from being a backup singer to the main attraction. That's what happens with side chicks. Listen, no side chick. And this is coming from the Pimp Chronicles. No side chick. Listen, let me take this back. I need a full screen for this education lesson here. No side chick is ever going to be happy with just, I got the man. No, they're going to want to flaunt that new man that they got, the one that they've been secretly wanting, someone they've been they've been lusting over, and fiending for to go out in public. No more sneaking around, no more going to hotels and motels, cross town, out of town. No, you can do it in the light. But Miss Murphy, listen, if that's the case, if that's the case, I mean, everybody that's ever been dumped or cheated on, this is your green flag to like, oh, I want to sue this person for alienation of affection. Damn that, this moving on, moving past that upgraded. No. I want to sue, and it is such a nasty precedent. And I don't listen. I know people are saying that she was humiliated, and it was she bragged about it. Listen, that's what side chicks do. What does a side chick do? What is the first thing a side chick wants to do? Or a side dude? Hey, I want to take you out in public to be seen, just in case, if we do run into him. I want him to see what the upgrade look like. I want her to see what the upgrade look like. That's part of the game. And I don't understand. This is nasty work. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let me go ahead and remove that clip. I don't like it. Now you have a beef with I need a few minutes and want to take Mr. Murray. Listen, I can't with y'all tonight. I can't co-sign this. I can't. This is so nasty. This is so nasty. How do they allow this? And how you? I mean, it's like I saw another case like this where a woman is suing a man, because he didn't want to. They was in a relationship. I want to say it was in a relationship for 8 years. He ended up, not marrying her and moving on. She's trying to sue him because she's claiming that he took the best years of her life. He took her childbearing years. He took her prime away from her. Like, come on, man. What part of the game is this, man? What part of the game is this? You wasted your time. Oh well. I mean, take it as a life lesson and move on. No, I'm gonna be stuck in it. You know what? It might be deeper than that. Keep a leg closed to marry man. Beautiful. I mean, this is the nature of the beast. Even if he wasn't married, let's take marriage off of the table, because let's take the married part. Let's just say they was a couple. He found something he liked better. He moved on. Why do you come across? Listen, she comes across as bitter, and I don't give a damn. She was humiliated online, and the chick he ended up with, the side chick, the side piece, was they got promoted. Like, listen, she's famous on TikTok. I've never heard of the chick, but then again, I'm not on the TikTok like that, unlike some folks. But I'm just not on there like this, so I don't know who she is. But come on, man. Of course she's gonna show off the new man. Of course she's gonna. Women do it. Listen, women do it all the time. They have a breakup with a dude, and then where the new guy comes in, who we don't know is really the new guy. He might have just been, one of the motherfuckers on the bench. Listen, hold on, let me make sure the missus ain't listening to this, because listen, when you in the game, you understand what I'm saying to you. Let me make sure the door closed. I ain't finna get in trouble for y'all. Single and married are two different things. It is. It is. But when you in the game, I mean, you have your main chick, but you also, come on, man. You also know if you playing that game, if you're playing that game, hey, it's other women that's that want your time and affection. It's some women, don't mind being the side piece. They don't mind being that, but sometimes they want to get promoted. They want to get promoted. That's just natural. You know, you know. I just can't. I just the game. I just can't. I can't. I mean, listen, like everybody that's ever been cheated on would have a case based on this. Do we all deserve millions of dollars for somebody moving on from us, alienation of affection? Like, what the fuck is that? Maybe I'm just get a sip of water. I can't. I just couldn't believe that this the court actually went for this. I just can't. 1.7 mil. 1.7 mil, and it you know what? You're gonna have to pay some of that in lawyer fees. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Did you thought you won? Like ah, I can't. Give me just a sec, y'all. Let me pick this up real. I just give me just a sec. Well, beautiful. I mean, if that's the cost of doing business with him, then that's the cost of doing business with him. Listen, if you wanted a man, if that was the man you wanted, you should have, you should have chose better, baby. You should have chose better. I just don't understand why I have to pay for it. I mean, this you want to penalize her for being to him. I'm just saying in his eyes, you want to penalize her for being a better option for him. I just don't understand. I just don't get the logic of that. I just don't, for the life of me, I do not understand the logic. I don't get it. I can't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Like, why? What do I get? If that's the up, if that she believes that's the upgrade, then that you know what? Let me move on. Let me move on. Let me move on. What else? What else I got? Because I want to. Okay, I've done that one. Matter of fact, let me dig in the archives real quick because I got some other stuff I wanted to kind of get into. Yeah, this show is random. I want to get into this a little bit. Yeah, I want to get to this one just a little bit. I'm not going to play the entire clip, but if you have a chance to go catch it on YouTube or whatever, it's on Twitter, floating real heavy. I mentioned this, I want to say yesterday, but it's kind of get into it a little bit. You have FBI Director Kash Patel, who's kind of made it publicly known. He's incensed. He's thoroughly upset over the recent story involving him, the government plane and his girlfriend. So apparently, Kash Patel has come out and said, "Hey, it's going to be consequences for going after her and and anti-Israel type commentary, yada 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 yada." I'm not. I'm listening. Y'all talking about stroke game. I'm definitely out of that conversation now. But I want to kind of get into this clip real quick. So his girlfriend, Kash Patel's girlfriend, FBI Director Kash Patel's girlfriend, has filed a lawsuit, a $5 million lawsuit against some social media personalities, but this guy decided to respond back because and she's claiming that he insinuated that she is a Mossad honeypot. For those who don't know who Mossad is, they're the Israeli equivalent to the CIA, more or less, and kind of keeping it in simple terms. It's the Israeli equivalent to the CIA, but they've insinuated. That's what she said. They insinuated that she's a honeypot, meaning she's a plant. Let's keep it a buck. She was a plant sent here to get close to Kash Patel, blah blah blah. FBI director. Of course, you would think, okay, but anyway, but she's filed a $5 million lawsuit against the social media influencer, and he had this public statement. Like I said, I'm not going to play all of it. I just want to kind of play some of it to kind of set the backdrop of what are this portion of the show. All right, check this out.
Received concerning news that I was being sued for $5 million by Kash Patel's girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins. And the reason why might actually shock you. About a couple months ago, I posted this photo on the public social media platform X. I posted it with no caption, no suggestions of any malintent or any slander, defamation, or criticisms of character. I did so attached to an X post shared by another account that I'm not connected to that talked about government agents being compromised. Now Alexis Wilkins is saying that I owe her $5 million for damages, the exact evaluation of my company, and if I cannot come up with that money, that I'm going to have to shut down my business, give up all of my digital assets and my entire voice online in order to pay her back. So why does Kash Patel's girlfriend want to silence me? Well, it comes down to the lawsuit itself. Before anyone jumps to conclusions and says, well, don't say that she's a honeypot, I'd like to say, I never did. I never would. I never felt like suggesting that, never even suggested that in my own head. So why am I being sued for something I never did? To give proof of that, in section 14 of the lawsuit, it states, while the defendant may not have included any caption to spell out the meaning of his post, he didn't have to. Ever since Kash Patel was appointed as director of the FBI in February of 2025, the conspiratorial corners of the internet and social media have been spreading false narratives about Miss Wilkins as an Israeli Mossad agent, spy, or quote, honeypot, who is only in the relationship with Kash Patel to spy on and manipulate the United States government. Defendant's wordless reply, it goes on to say. So to clarify, before we go any further, if you post a public photo of a government official and his romantic partner, who he's not married to, very important fact we'll talk about, you as a private citizen or a member of the press can be bankrupted, have your entire company shut down, or completely mocked, slandered, and dragged through lawfare because of what? Because of your First Amendment protected rights. Now, I believe that this lawsuit is not only an attack on our First Amendment and our constitutional rights given to us by God, but I believe this is also a violation of SLAPP ordinances. This seems to be a proxy lawsuit, if anything, from Kash Patel himself, and I have the evidence to prove it. We'll start here by talking about what is this lawsuit about and why is it so concerning. As I just read in the previous section, Alexis Wilkins states that I never said anything about her being a Mossad agent. So how am I being sued for saying anything about that? Considering I'm being sued for things I didn't say? Yeah, you heard that right. They're suing me for the implications based upon previous posts I had made on my X account, not about Alexis, not about Kash, but about the state of Israel. I take you to section.
Let me pause it here. Like I said, I'm not going to play the whole thing. Where we at with it? This is very alarming. And I say alarming in a simple fact. Let me kind of rank me here. Okay, is my mic good? Okay, this is very alarming. And this is kind of, I'm not going to get heavy into the politics tonight. Did that yesterday. But the weaponization of, this particular regime in government is just, I'm flabbergasted. Like, You're suing him for $5 million for something that he didn't imply or did not say. And then I've seen that, goes a little further in the video. You see the post, someone insinuates that on their own, but they're not being sued because it's up under his post. It's imagine, you're a creator and you being sued for something that, better yet, this is like overly aggressive. And I know my audience is familiar with this overly aggressive chat police. You're being, the person that you was in their chat and you allowed them to say this, and we're going to sue you because we can't get this. It's policing the chat, policing free speech. If you want to sue the person that said it's, find that person, sue them, fine. This is like ice skating uphill for me. I don't see this lawsuit having any real legs, but of course it's going to be backed by Cash Patel, director of the FBI, because this is his girlfriend. The same girlfriend. He's kind of come out and said, "Hey, she's such a great American. She's a better American than most of us." But with no real credentials to say otherwise. Like nothing saying she was a veteran of her armed services, or she's and this Nobel Prize winner, like nothing of the sort. But she's a better American because you say so. But you have to say that because that's your girlfriend. I get it. But involving yourself in tit for tat social media stuff because people feel a certain kind of way and have some criticism about your girlfriend, it's just a little suspect to me. Little suspect to me. I don't like I said, I don't think this lawsuit goes anywhere, but I'm if you want to watch the whole, I'm not gonna play it. Say it's about a 14-minute clip. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but that's like I said, this is kind of the weaponization, and it extends past. It extends past. It extends past. Just Cash Patel. It's just the culture. I'm not a fan of it. If you don't like it, don't pay attention to it. Don't respond to it. Ignore it. Move on. If you choose to engage, then you choose to engage. I just don't understand this. I don't like what you said, and whether you said it or not. Like they said it in your chat. Basically that's what he's being sued for. Someone left a comment up under the picture that he posted, insinuating what she's suing him for. They did that, not him. I'm at this heavy duty policing and all that, but let's move on. I don't want to make it overly political. This is not the show for that. A couple more things until I get to the nerdy stuff. Let's kind of lighten it up. Let's just kind of lighten it up. I saw this clip kind of floating around. I just want to know what would you guys do in a situation if you're out with your family and you see this happening. Give me a second. Okay, make sure I'm on the stick to verticals. Yeah, I see why I didn't have this problem yesterday when I had the verticals. But then again, I'm gonna take that down. Okay, give me just a sec. Set this up. Big screen here. What would you do if you're in a restaurant and this happens? Come back over here. Let me come back over here. Interesting. Give me just let me get some more water. My bad, y'all. Oh boy, I'll play it again. Beautiful Miss Murray. I'll play it again. This is, and you know, I've had this experience. This is not me recording this, but I've had this experience at a restaurant before, where you know, the social media, the TikTokers of the world. Why can't, you know, people just go to a restaurant and eat in peace? Why, look at this. And you just, I just, and why does he got to be bucking his eyes, jumping up and down? It's just, why? Why you just can't do a food review? And I get this is, you know, I've seen this guy online before. I get this is his thing to do, but bro, come on. It's this is really necessary. It's what we come to for clicks and views. I don't understand it either, Miss Burr. I'm just, this is what we got to do for clicks and views. And like I said, I've seen this guy do stuff like this, and you know, other videos and stuff. But like, I mean, this looked like a very nice looking steakhouse, and you got this clown doing this. I mean, is that necessary? Sit your ass down and eat. And I don't even know what's worse, him doing the shit or the fucking cameraman dancing along with him. And if I was in a restaurant and you got to have music playing and to do all your skits, and dude, I'd be like, I want my goddamn money back. I'm not paying for this meal. I got to be subjected to this shit. No, I want my goddamn money. This is a free meal. You have just gave me a free meal at your very nice steakhouse, and I'm not coming back. If this is the kind of shit that you listen, it's one thing to be in a restaurant doing a food review. And this one, the music. Yeah, the Tom and Jerry cartoons. Yeah, you going back there, Miss Murphy. You going back. It's like the whole music, and then like, you know, you just see people like walking out. This look like a very decent like steakhouse, and you see people walking out. Like, what is this? Jump out! What are we doing here, bro? And you ordered a whole bunch of shit that I know you're not finna fucking eat. So now you wasting food. I can't. Manager ain't came out and said, "Hey man, y'all got to go somewhere with that shit." Nothing. No staff. All right, you know what? Let's. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Okay. Well, I got one more thing, and of course, I get into. You know, do I got one more? Do I want to? Yeah, I guess I can't. I'll save that. I'll save it. That's more for that show anyway. Yeah. You know what? I got a little time. Fuck it. I got a little bit of time before I get into the nerd part of the show and people get lost. If you're not down with the straw hats. But anyway, It's a video kind of flow. It's just a short one, y'all. It's a short one. He should have come when it first opened. Listen, I don't give a damn when he showed up. Like, man, go on somewhere with that goofy shit. You want to look like a clown, man? Take your ass to Chuck E. Cheese and do all that. Like, dude, this is it looked like a decent looking establishment. And you got this clown doing all that. But speaking of clowns, here's like clown, some more clown behavior. It's a short clip, y'all. Short clip. I'm not even going to set it up. I'll explain it afterwards. Check this out.
Oh, Mace? Nah, Mace is crazy. Nah, Mace is crazy. Nah, she just faced it. Nah. Nah, I gotta go. Hold on. Nah.
Don't fucking touch me. She just pepper sprayed me. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. God, wait. Hey. Can I get my phone? Can I get my phone? I need my phone.
Over the phone is crazy.
I need my phone.
Look at this nigga.
I need my phone. Okay, give me my phone. She said okay. Can I get my phone? No, you can't.
Watch out, man. I'm going there. Watch out. I'm going
I need my phone.
Let me come back here. All right, so I kind of set the, for those who couldn't catch it. I have a young lady, 18-year-old girl in high school. Teacher confiscates her phone from her for whatever reason, confiscates the phone from her. She proceeds to pepper spray him, chases him out of the classroom, pepper sprays him again. Why does she have pepper? Miss Murphy, so many questions in just a small clip. One, at this point, you dispersed pepper spray, you sprayed him with which is, for all intents and purposes in that situation and in that setting, assault. Why is nobody handling this young lady? And we're trying to calmly talk to her, but it raises a bigger problem. Did you have this 18-year-old, and I don't know if this is a product of the generation that we, this new generation where they this need to have their phone, and not feeling complete without their phone. And I mean, we're guilty of it to a degree. But we know, hey, it's certain situations when the phone's got to be put up, the phone's got to be put up. But your phone has been confiscated by the teacher. And instead of asking, what do I need to do to get my phone back? Am I getting my phone back at the end of the day? And this is the reason why a lot of schools, especially high schools, have kind of like adopted a no cell phone policy because of shit like this. Because shit like this is happening and is going to continue to happen as long as she was. I'm no apology for pepper spraying. I'm sorry I did it. He grabbed me and I felt threatened. Nope. I need my phone. Because all she kept saying, give me my phone. I need my phone. She was arrested and charged for assault. For those who, asking for the follow up to it, she was arrested and charged for assault, and rightfully so. But this is having your phone and that attachment to social media. Is it that strong for you? Is it? Could you see yourself in a situation to where you had to have your phone that bad that you're willing to go to jail over your phone? And he was a lot calmer than I would have been, because after you pepper sprayed me the first time, and at that point, it's up and it's stuck. I'm not all of that. No, he's way more patient. I mean, this I mean, let's kind of start it over from the beginning of the clip, and kind of I'll identify problems even here.
Mace?
Pepper sprayed him in a room full of people, and you know, as someone who has been, I wonder what she had in the phone. Beautiful. I mean, if this is a problem, I mean, think about it. You were so caught up in getting your phone back that you sprayed pepper spray, and you know, for someone who has been pepper sprayed, listen, it's not just where you shoot it at. No, it's dispersed in the air. It lands on the spot, but it carries in the air. But you were so caught up in my first reaction is the pepper spray. So he does the adult thing, and tries to get away from the aggressive. And she's 18, so let's call it what it is, the aggressive adult. Let's continue.
Mace is crazy. Nah, Mace is crazy. Nah, she just facing it.
The fact that I think who brought it up earlier. Why does she have Mace? Is I don't even know. Miss my thing is if you shouldn't even have phones out in school. Now I don't have a problem with kids having a phone in school, and this is why I say that. With the rise of violence in schools, and I'm kind of talking like, let's keep it a buck, school shootings. With the rise of that kind of stuff possibly happening in schools, and you want your kids to have access to a phone, because just because the teacher is in charge of the classroom doesn't mean the teacher's got their shit together. The teacher might get, the worst case scenario, get shot, get killed, who's calling for help. But no phone should be out in the class. But of course, this is what they do. Every time it's this interaction. I mean, this is their natural instinct to grab the phone and let's look at it for what it is. Grab the phone and start recording. We're trying to go viral. We're trying to get some hits on our page. Blah 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 blah. But let's continue with the video.
Nah, I gotta go. Hold on. Nah.
So at this point, he tries to go to another teacher's or another staff member's room, and she's still hollering, "Can I get my phone?" I'm pretty sure he walked in there talking about this chick don't mace me. She don't pepper spray me in my face. And let me scroll back. This is just a tad bit here. I don't want to say this is a student, but this person here, is this person in the black shirt, is this a student or this staff? I mean, what is going on here? Who has control of the situation? But let's continue.
No.
She just pepper sprayed me. Give me my phone. Give me my phone.
Hold on, let's pause it here. He's pepper sprayed. Notice the teacher's just standing there watching her colleague, his or her colleague. I can't tell if that's a female or not, but their colleague get pepper sprayed. God bless teacher, because I don't. Miss Murph. Oh, she'd have been up through though. Yeah, but see, and I've talked about this, in old shows. It's beautiful, that point there. We're as parents, man, they're so far behind on what these kids are doing with these phones. It's ridiculous. But that me and whoever this is at the door, I'm seeing you after work. You just see me get assaulted. You see me get pepper sprayed. No rush to protect me. Nothing. You just casually standing at the door. Let's play it out. Maybe I'm mistaken. So she here she goes, pepper spraying him again. Student just casually walking in the hallway. Let's He comes up, hey, calm down. No, she needs to go. I'd have slammed the shit on her ass in that locker. Ooh. Ooh. You another one I'll be seeing after work because you look like you came out of the same room I just came out of and told you. I'm seeing you after work too. What part of keeping her calm down? You just sprayed the fuck out of me again. I mean, let's and his first reaction is, hey, you should be into the fucking lockers. Then you walk up and she walks up on him. Like, yeah, once I get my phone back, I'll calm down and start spraying everybody. Oh no. And see, I get it. Maybe they're thinking, oh, it's a white teacher, black girl. We don't want to make it a race thing. Oh no. Oh no. We deal with that later. That's my coworker. I can't be seeing my coworker get fucked up. I gotta go to lunch with him. I gotta be there for on teacher planning days with this motherfucker. We go to the same church. I see him at the club on the weekends. Can you imagine that conversation? Man, you sat there and watched me get fucked up by a student. You ain't do nothing. Nothing. Bet then. I might go upside your head with a bottle with a Corona bottle. What? Hey, why are we even talking? Now you had to go to county. You had to go to because you're 18. You had to go to county. Let's finish it up. We'll move on with the show.
Over the phone is crazy.
Now she gonna fuck around and spray his ass. You're trying to negotiate. What? There's no negotiate. Listen. And this new age adult when this comes to dealing with these new age kids. Listen, ain't no motherfucking negotiations. We are not on equal levels. We are not we're not buddies. We're not colleagues. We're not cohort. What the fuck is going on here? No, you're not getting your goddamn phone. But you know, so many of these absentee punk ass parenting, and you see the parenting, and I hate to put it on the parenting because the child is responsible for behavior to a degree, but who, Miss Murph, listen, hands off my ass. Hands off my ass. Good point, beautiful. Are we talking? She pulls out a switchblade. Are we still hey, calm down? No, she's going head first into a goddamn locker, and that's the problem. That's part of the problem with this new generation. You think you are on equal level with the adults. You're not. You are not. We're going to slam you into the fucking locker. We're going to restrain you because you're obviously, attacking people over your phone. And we're going to tell your mama where to come pick you up at. She can go pick you up at the county jail once we press charges on you. We're going to press charges for assault. We're going to press charges for you having a weapon on school grounds. Hello. Come on. Why are we in negotiating? Calming her down for what? She just sprayed your goddamn coworker with mace. He's on the phone. He's on the floor screaming in agony. And you're trying to negotiate to her to calm down. The damage is done. But let's finish up.
Over the phone is crazy.
Look
at this nigga.
Now you see that's what I said about pepper spray. Yeah, you hit that person, but it's in the air. And look at this one. You're just guarding the door, make sure the other students don't get out. What? Just turn around. Hey man, sit y'all ass down. We got a situation. Sit your ass down. Yeah, damn. Man, two adults being adults, man. What the fuck, man? Sit your punk ass down. This new generation, boy. We're trying to be kinder, gentler. Oh shit, whatever.
I need my phone. Okay, give me my phone. She said okay. Can I get my phone? No, you can't.
Watch out, man. I'm going in. Watch out.
And she still has the pepper spray. Hold on. See this? She still has the pepper spray in her hand, ready to light his ass up again. So this guy here, you're trying to calm her down. She walks off from you and you're like, fuck it, it's not my problem. She ain't spraying me. Oh, this is all this. Oh, this is good. This is, oh man, I see you after work.
I need my phone.
See you after work.
I need my phone. Okay, give me my phone.
He just walks off. This walks off like this. This is not my problem.
She said okay. Can I get my phone? No, you can't.
Watch out, man. I'm going in. Watch out.
I need my phone.
Another staff member walks up and we're calmly talking to her. Now, why are we not beating her ass? Hey, Seven. I'm sorry, Queen. Why, Lord? It may be, but I'm whooping out. I don't see 3 people's ass I'm whooping, and they all the adults. But he better than me, or I'd have been beating her ass. And I don't condone hitting women. I've been beating her ass. You don't pepper spray me over a fucking cell phone. I mean, this, and I don't know. Maybe this is some good acting going along with it, but drops to his knees.
You just pepper sprayed me. Give me my phone. Give me my phone.
And you see, he better than me. You try to snatch away. I'd have rose up and knocked the shit out of this motherfucker. Knock the shit out. Do you like your parents should have did you. You gonna goddamn learn to respect it though. I'd have knocked your ass in the goddamn next week. Let me get a sip of water. Would have knocked you clean out them goddamn house shoes you got on. Could knock you clean out them motherfuckers. Ooh. Next week, beautiful. See you Thanksgiving. I'd have hit it that hard. All right, man. All bets is off. I gotta listen. If my co-workers ain't gonna protect me, I gotta protect me. I'd have knocked her clean. It'll look like Red getting punched by Debo on Friday. Clean in there. Oh, you want pepper spray me again? I'm finna beat your ass. And if your parents got a problem, I'm gonna beat their ass too. Y'all raise this heathen. Ooh. Well, let's finish up this clip. Okay, I'm done. I'm getting pissed off now. Oh, I'm getting pissed off. Oh, Jesus. Jesus be offense. Jesus be offense. I'm glad I was raised when I was raised. Lord have mercy. Whoo. I don't want to kill the show with that one. Okay. One more clip. This is kind of like it's not necessarily a it's not a trigger warning. Beautiful, but it once you watch the video, you kind of understand, like, how do you let this happen? How dumb do you have to be to not pick up on the mistakes being made in this situation here? And then, of course, we're going to get into the nerd stuff like we do. Give me just a second. Okay. All right. Let's go.
grandmother is so happy charges were dismissed after she was wrongfully arrested. But now she's concerned the arrest could follow her around the rest of her life. Channel 2's Tom Jones is live in Cherokee County, where she was locked up. And Tom, the person officers were looking for is actually a different race.
Yeah, and a different age. She spells her name differently, and the suspect, Linda, lives in a state far away from here. Still, Nikki Patrice Sledge found herself locked up here for something she said she would never do.
I said, elder abuse? I said, what are you talking about? I said, my elderly mother lives with me.
Nikki Patrice Sledge was floored when Rockdale County deputies told her she was being arrested for elder abuse.
I said, I'm being punked. And so she was like, no, ma'am, you're not being punked. You're under arrest.
Sledge was transported to the Rockdale County Jail. Then she was transported to the Cherokee County Jail where the warrant originated.
I knew they had the wrong person, but it's like, how am I going to prove it?
It was at the Cherokee Jail where Sledge finally got a look at the warrant and showed it to a jailer. The jailer then showed it to her supervisor.
It says that we were looking for a white female with black hair, and Miss Sledge is African American.
Sledge learned the suspect has the same first and last name as her, but spells her first name differently. The suspect is 43, Sledge is 49. She learned the suspect is married, she is single, and the suspect lives in Kentucky.
Never been to Covington, Kentucky.
Sledge says she still had to go before a judge who took one look at the warrant and expressed concern.
And he was like, it says on here, family violence. He said, I can clearly see she ain't related.
The charges were eventually dismissed. Sledge's attorney called what happened egregious, reckless.
We're going to bring a claim or a civil suit, whatever that may be, because somebody has to answer for what happened here.
Sledge says this ordeal has tainted her name and her reputation.
This is a record that won't disappear. It's going to follow me the rest of my life.
She spent 3 days in jail. Of course, we reached out to the sheriff's office for a comment about how this happened. A spokesperson said the sheriff's office prefers not to comment on potential pending litigation. Sledge says she's so thankful she had family members who worked so hard to get her an attorney and get her out of here.
Let me come back over here. Whoo. Ooh, listen, beautiful. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but how do you make that mistake and keep her in jail 3 days? Beautiful, I wasn't trying to piss you off. It wasn't a trigger warning, but it's like, how the fuck does this happen? Like, you know, you can't, you look like the suspect. She's white, I'm black. You know, it's over with. 3 days over an error, and nobody caught it. What makes you wonder, did they want to catch it? Well, of course, you know, Benjamin Crump is involved, and I'm pretty sure litigation will be coming down for this woman being wrongfully imprisoned for 3 days. But I mean, like, damn. I mean, really? Nobody's checking anything. Just you got the same name. Time to go to county jail. Crazy. All right, let's move on because I want to, you know, get through the material. I think I gotta. All right, so let me kind of get into my my weekly ODA rant. This is for the nerds. So if you just wanted to chill out, that's fine. I do have a bit of a word. I have a couple things I was thinking about earlier and I want to kind of share with the class before we get up out of here. It's always appreciated and all that good stuff. Yeah. Latest chapter of One Piece is out. 1165 is out. I'm done. I am okay. I'm done. I am no longer unless is actually worth my time and attention. I will no longer be reporting on One Piece chapters. I'm not for the time being. I'm done. This last chapter, while I think it's going to look great when it goes to anime and they animate it, I think it's going to look awesome. It's going to be, God tier. I'm done. I the way Oda has kind of only way I would come back if it's revealed that Oda's on his deathbed and he's trying to finish the story before he died. Other than that, I'm done. I have never seen such a arc be rushed to a finale. It's like this is where Slender. Yes. That Miss Murphy is based on that One Piece we're talking about. They have, if you want to just not really read the manga, you can, they have plenty of movies and live action on Netflix. But I have never seen in all my years let's call manga what it is. It's an ongoing book. I've never seen a book rush to an ending so fast. I mean, let's take Lord of the Rings. You're talking about over the course really of 4 books of Lord of the Rings. But to be rushing, they didn't rush that. That was in movie form. But even the book, it wasn't rushed. We know where this ends. Good guy comes out, wins in the end. In any kind of story built around a protagonist and an antagonist, it's always typically how it goes. The good guy wins. He may cost him his life, but he wins in the end. Justice prevails. Everybody leaves on a high note. We all know how it ends, but why are you rushing to the end? This chapter for me solidifies it. He's on break. Guess what? I'm on break too. I'm done. I am done. Let's kind of talk about some of the highlights of this chapter. Of course, you have the big fight between Rox, Garp, and Roger. They pretty much get a word. Everybody, kind of evacuate. Yada yada yada. Okay, typical, comic book type cliche shit. Okay, it's very cliche. But okay, let's get into it. Fight. Fight it'll look good on camera, but it's okay. It's setting the tone. This is a heavyweight matchup here. This is the big dogs are fighting. The part that threw me off is why we know he ends up getting defeated. Oda used this chapter, and this is the part that really fucked me up. I was like, okay, we get the fight. I get that. I know this God Valley's coming to an end. They've already advertised it. Why is Oda using this chapter to clear up any holes in the plot? Meaning, why would you, have a page in a couple pages in this chapter talking about how, you want everything about this the whole God Valley incident erased. This major event, you want it erased. You have Cypher Pro, erase it from the records. You don't, nothing involved. Anybody's involved. You don't. We're going full cover up on this, and you do it in this chapter. And I was wondering this, and I talked about this a while ago, like for this to be such a major incident, so many major players here are the God Valley. How come nobody really knows what's going on? Nobody's ever really kind of talked about what happened at God Valley until we got the God Valley flashback. I am so disappointed in Oda. Like I said, he's going to have to come out, or somebody's going to have to release that he's on his deathbed. He's trying to finish One Piece up before he dies. Why would you rush? And why are we rushing? And I've been saying this for the past 3 or 4 chapters of the manga. Why are we rushing? What are we rushing back to? I can tell you what we're rushing back to. We're rushing back to Elbath. We're going to find out that Harold was reason why Loki killed Harold, because he was Dami Reversied back then. And he had Loki kill him to stop the same way we have Garp and Roger defeat no, we have Roger and Garp defeat Rocks in this one the same way, to kind of, please kill me. He has that I can't control myself, please kill me. Only you two guys can do it. That's very cliche, but that's what we're heading back to. We did all this. We did all of this. Had the whole God Valley flashback, whole God Valley incident, just so you can explain when you go back to Elbath, this is what happened. What kind of, this whole situation, this is the whole God Valley incident, as great as it has been, this whole Rocks flashback, as great as it has been, it's all done to set up Harold being Dami Reversied and Loki killing him. This has been this flashback arc, instead of it being highlighting, the legends of the past, highlighting Rocks, highlighting Whitebeard, Garp, Roger in their prime. We'd assume is their prime at this point. Rocks being, on a next level, being, the pirate, elevated to a level where he's like the pirate. And we did all of this whole goddamn flashback just so we can give some context to Dami Reversi and see. I'm so done. I am so done. I can't read no more. I can't. I just sat through God knows how many chapters. And the biggest takeaway is not the legend of Rocks and how Rocks ends up being defeated. We're doing all of this as a setup to giving Dami Reversi God tier type status. We're going to look at Dami Reversi as the same way we looked at Luffy going Gear 5. We had a whole flashback. The reveal of Davy Jones being the former king of the world, Joy Boy's name being dropped, more credence to what the will of the D is. And we did all of this, so we can go back to Elbath and where Dami Reversi is explained for why Loki killed Harold. And Dami Reversi is giving, kind of like the Gear 5 level, to match. This is used to match Gear 5. This is Emu's special ability, Dami Reversi. I'm so disappointed. Not only did you rush this great art, rushed it. You could have milked it. You could have milked this goddamn arc to the end of the year. You could have milked this arc to the end of the year. You rushed through this arc, and the only biggest takeaway that what we should have been talking about is all the nuggets and knowledge that was dropped and clues of the past that were dropped in through this whole arc. The only thing we got, I'm taking away. I'm gonna say I'm taking away from it. I'm taking away from it. You did all of this to set up Dami Reversi being the reason why Harold was killed. So that explains Loki. So, when we find out, Harold was Dami Reversi, the reveal of that is not going to be, it's not going to be major. It's like, we kind of figured that out when Loki had to kill him, and people didn't understand why he had to kill Harold because he was Dami Reversi. You took the spotlight off of, for me. You took the spotlight off of Rocks, who was presented as God tier up until he met Emu the second time. Was presented as God tier, leader of the strongest pirate crew in history. The strongest pirate crew in history was God tier, and you reduced it to Dami. I'm so fucking done. I can't read no more. I can't read no more. I may catch a summary. I can't sit through that shit. I need a break. I need a break. And this is coming. You have been telling this fucking story for damn near 3. Matter of fact, I want to be precise when I say this. I want to be precise. When I say this, I want to know I want to say we're at 30 years. 30 years. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Give me a sec. 1997. The series started in 1997 in Shonen Weekly Jump. 1997. And now we're rushing. You've had a ongoing story or ongoing book for fucking damn near 30 years, and we're rushing it like you gotta be somewhere in the next 15 minutes. I am fucking done. I am the longest running anime, well, manga that I can think of is this. That is not taking a break. That has not come back in a new form. We're not talking about Dragon Ball going from Dragon Ball to Z to GT to Super. No, it's been One Piece from day one. Even Naruto has come back with the original Naruto. We come back with the Shippuden, and then we get Boruto, the next generation. But no, One Piece has just been One Piece. 30 fucking years telling the story, and we're rushing. Why are we rushing now? I'm so fucking done. I am so fucking done. Okay, but that's enough for me ranting about Oda. What the fuck? Listen, Divine, I'm done. I'm done. This arc is hurt my spirit. As a long time reader, I can't. I can't. He Oda has took the fun out of it. I've moved on to I'm into Record of Ragnarok. I'm into Sakamoto Days now. I'm into King and Omega now. I'm good. I'm good. Rushing. But anyway, all right. So let me get ready to close out tonight's show. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen to little old me. I do have a couple of words. Well, the first one is going to be kind of like it's meant to be funny, but it's actually serious when you kind of think about it, but it's still funny at the same time. I saw this and it kind of reminded me of some people I know, but here it goes. Somebody had this on their story, and I was like, I got to share this tonight. So remember in school they had kids separated. You had your honor classes, you had regular classes, and you had the sped, aka slow classes. So remember when you was in school, they had everybody separated into class based on your intellect level. If you was one of those honor kids, you was in honor classes. If you was a regular kid, you was in regular standardized classes. And if you was one of those kids that had to get marched around the school to lunch and to gym and back to the classroom and all of that kind of stuff as a group, then you was in those kind of classes. But the school had you separated based on your IQ level. Well, ain't it funny now in today's society, we're now grown, we're now out of school. And the problem with social media is they got all of us all here together and we're not supposed to be. Let that marinate for a little bit. You find yourself interacting with people and dealing with people that you have no business dealing with. Yeah, because some of these people that we interact with, not just on social media, but just in real life, like I said, but now we're out of school. Some of these people, we're in the slow class for a reason. Some people you come across and you can tell, hey, this person, they're well aware of themselves and what's going on in the world. This is one of the people that may have been in the honors class. But far too often, the most memorable interactions you have with people, especially in the social media spaces, were people you kind of wonder, was this person really in the slow class? Was this person in one of those classes that had to get marched around as a group to go to lunch? They all sat together at lunch, and they had their own gym class and all of that. They had a special. They wasn't on the main hall with the regular classes or the honor classes. They had like their own special kind of section of the school. Far too often, you find yourself in real world settings dealing with people, that you would have been separated from while you was in school. But that's neither here nor there. That's not calling any names, but I just think about that next time you're interacting with someone. You was like, you seem slow, you seem dense, you don't get it, you're not understanding. But then realize, maybe they was one of those kids, that you were separated from when you was in school. Some of the people that in my audience, I believe we're honor class students. Some people were in regular classes. There's nothing wrong with being in a regular class, but some people, we interact with, and those are the ones that kind of stick with you and leave an impression on you. It's the ones that were in the slow classes. And that's the problem with social media and as a whole. Now we all are here together. We're not separated no more, and you start to see who you start to see who little Darryls are. I'm just saying. And they kind of close out tonight's show. More of a helpful quote. And it goes like this: if you keep inviting your past into your present, it will affect your future. The past is not the past until you let it pass. PASS. Oh, those bars right there. If you keep inviting your past, PAST, into your present, it will affect your future. Let that some things you can't take with you. Some things you got to leave it for that stage of life that you was in at that time, and that means it can include some people that you got to leave right there at that stage of time, because it may affect your feelings. Everybody can't come with you on the journey, and far too often we find ourselves, wanting to, reach back, and like rehash, what we had, whatever interaction that is. Like, going, you know, some cats go back to the same chick, the same ex. You go back to the same environment that you grew from. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, let's look at, I'm just gonna use Dolph as a quick example to kind of pop into my head. Like, you moved out of that environment, you struggled to get out of that environment. That was your past. It's not your present. But having such a strong connection to your past, it affected your future. I mean, there's something to think about and marinate on as you kind of maneuver out the rest of your week. I ain't got nothing else for y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight's show. Whatever. Next Sunday we'll be here. We'll be kind of playing around with some stuff. Brother want to diversify his portfolio, so I might we'll be doing the show. I don't know what time, but we'll be doing a show on Sunday over here. The typical Sunday shows that's gonna be moved to Monday. I like to feel it at. I like to feel of that on Monday. It just feels a little bit, a little bit less going on in the world. Sports world kind of settled down. Politics kind of settled down. But anyway, let me get my ass up out of here, man. As always, appreciate it. Take the time to leave a comment or whatever, what you like, what you didn't like, whatever. Hit the like. What else they be saying? Sub if you already sub. If you're not, then it is what it is. No biggie for me. And say the phrase that pays around here. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. And I'm out.